a writer and a New York Times crossword puzzle creator, Andrea Carla Michaels, as the Pizza Lady for her one-woman crusade over many years to obtain and reheat and redistribute unsold pizzas from the Polk Street corridor and beyond to her unhoused knots, neighbors on the street throughout the Lower Nob Hill and Lower Polk area. She epitomizes the spirit of civic engagement and neighborhood community building. And at a time when the relentless churn of cynical politics, negative press releases, and toxic sound bites have dampened interest in grassroots organizing and community building, Andrea is the grounded neighborhood leader that believes the solutions to the city's problems lie with positive and good faith collaboration. When she organizes a community cleanup or a neighborhood event, it is not because she needs a vote or money or a press plug or as a 501c4. She just loves her neighborhood and this city. And she says, I don't think there's anyone who is not willing to help a neighbor. And her actions prove it. Her civic engagement doesn't stop there. And I think some of you may have seen this article recently. So many of us have sadly seen the aftermath of a burglary or a car break-in with IDs and papers and photos and a backpack strewn on a sidewalk. When Andrea found that police were not accepting those stolen items or able to pursue the time-intensive effort of finding who the owners of those items are, given their workload, Andrea decided to take matters into her own hands. At first, she approached our office about creating a city lost and found, and when the various city departments weren't able to help focus that effort, she entered a 10-week community police academy course in 2019 before the pandemic, hoping to identify how she could be a central part of an apparatus to initiate an SFPD Citizen Lost and Found program. And when that didn't work, although I do note that Assistant Chief Lazar is now taking an active interest, she set up a simple website, lostandfoundsanfrancisco.com, to centralize her own matchmaking efforts, her sleuthing efforts, where she collects the item and stores them and at her home or at a friend's home, where she meticulously catalogs them, looking for any identifying information that can point her towards the original owner of the stolen, often irreplaceable property, often of sentimental and personal value. Truly, her puzzle-solving mind has been a perfect fit for this work that she cheerfully disposes with. Her successes have included reuniting a Miami family with their luggage that included an 8th grade graduation card and a 6-year-old's collection of rocks from the Grand Canyon. Her latest brilliant civic idea, creating a centralized DMV hotline for passersby to report smash and grabs so victims can respond in a timely manner, given that right now a random citizen cannot report a break-in by license plate, and apparently neither can our own SFMTA, which Supervisor Safai and I were talking about. Sorry, that was a tangent. Her simple idea is to have the DMV hotline quickly send out an email that there's been a break-in so they can at least attend to their vehicle and report the crime sooner to the police. Although we know that the DMV is currently having some issues communicating with the SFMTA around stolen cars, well, actually that's the State Department of Justice, but there's still hope that one citizen's pragmatic idea could catch hold and help in real time. Andrea Carla Michaels, you are a delight and a phenomenon, and we are very, very lucky to have you as our constituent in the northeast corner of San Francisco. Your relentlessly optimistic outlook on the future of the city and your desire to always seek out the best in everyone makes us better and stronger. Your solutions-based approaches to public safety not only make sense, but inspire a more can-do attitude on the part of everyone in city government. And for that, I want to personally thank you and celebrate you. Come on up.
2-minute rebuttal?
Yes, please.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you, President Peskin, Sonny, and the board. I'm crazily touched to get a commendation out of the blue. And I just want to say that in the summer of '77, right before I turned 18, I was traveling from my home in Minneapolis alone on a Greyhound bus, seeing the United States. And when I arrived in San Francisco, the clouds parted, my head exploded. I couldn't believe this place existed. I thought it was gorgeous. Everybody was doing their own thing, and I felt I had found a home and a place in the world. And there was that postcard shop on Grand Street in North Beach that sold these little neon postcards that read, "There may not be a heaven, but there is a San Francisco." Like many folks who came here in my 20s, San Francisco gave me life. And the reason why I wanted to address you today is to say I could just be. And honestly, 99% of that was due to rent control. I could live on top of Nob Hill. I still do. I could temp, teach English, do comedy for $50 a night, and live this very, very rich life. And in all honesty, though, I never thought I'd be spending my 50s and 60s in alleys redistributing food and clothes. But these are my neighbors, as you said. And by the way, I just wanted to say I couldn't be pizza lady without the woman who actually makes and gives me the pizza to distribute. And she's here today. And so I'd like to very much share this commendation with Najat Sahili, who's Nob Hill Pizza. I walked in there one day years ago. It was life-changing, and especially in these fraught times, I'd like to point out that Najat, who works full-time and is a wife and mother and is a devout Muslim, and I'm a Jew with Buddhist leanings, and we are very different women who live very different lives, but we share San Francisco, and San Francisco has provided both of us with the life we only dreamed of. And thank you for thanking me, but I want to say what I do is not a thankless job. I get an outpouring of love and gratitude every day, but usually from upset tourists and folks lying in the alleys, not folks in such an august room here in City Hall. I am not an earnest do-gooder, some sort of unsung hero. I feel very sung. I'm just a resident of San Francisco with rent control, so I can literally afford to be out there helping. Rent control that Supervisor Preston, for example, is fighting for so fiercely is such an important thing. We've got to do everything we can, please, to protect it. Point is, I can do what I do because I can. Like everyone on this board, I'm just trying to right the ship, and all I can say is San Francisco gave me my life. And I want the folks in the alleys or the tourists who've had their visits interrupted to be reminded why they came here to begin with. We're still a city where the overwhelming majority of the residents still want to do the right thing. I'm glad I'm not remote today. And I just want their heads and hearts to explode like mine did 45 years ago and recapture that feeling that there may not be a heaven, but there still is a San Francisco.
Thank you, Andrea. We adore you, and don't go away. Don't go away. Before I present this to you, Ms. Michaels, I also want to say thanks for having the fortitude to stand up to a landlord who did everything he could to try to get you out, and I am delighted that you had the courage of standing up and fighting and are still in your home. With that, I just want to give you a certificate of honor from the Board of Supervisors.